In 2025, I'm dating for money, not love. I'm dating for money, not love. Always enter relationships with like a 50-50 mindset. Like I'm always ready for like equality, even though there is no equality because we live in a patriarchy. So why am I acting equal?
Today, we'll be seeing women showing their true colors, dating for money, not love.
If you're a man and you're broke or you live paycheck to paycheck, you shouldn't be dating.
Could someone be a bit more obvious that all they value in a man is money? I'm not so great with subtlety.
You're not necessarily a bad person. Everyone falls on tough times. But as a man, how are you going to offer any kind of security to a woman if you can barely pay for dates?
Let's put a different spin on this. Since some women only value money, and some men only seem to value looks, that means that it would be okay for a man to say, if you're not attractive, you shouldn't be dating. I don't think that would go over very well, but apparently this narrative is okay.
Just get your life in order first and then date. It's really not that hard. People have come at me for this before.
Gee, I can't imagine why.
And they say things like, oh, so poor people don't deserve love? No, that's not what I'm saying.
True. Someone never said anything about people in general. They were referring strictly to men who are possibly not the most financially stable, that they shouldn't be dating, implying that they don't deserve to have a chance at happiness until they have enough money in their bank account. Right? Or did I somehow misunderstand that?
Obviously, if you're already in a relationship and you fall on tough times, that you just get through it together.
I'm quite frankly surprised they even said that part.
But if you are a man and you are seeking a relationship, get your finances in order first. It doesn't mean you have to be a millionaire, doesn't mean you have to pay all of her bills, but you should be financially stable enough to take her on dates, to buy her flowers. And you don't have gas money, that you should not be dating. Period, point blank, this is a hill I will die on. You can come for me if you want, but it is what it is.
Right. It is what it is.
You have to understand with these types of women, the only criteria you have to meet to them is just having money, meaning they can be bought. She said that if a man doesn't have money, he shouldn't be dating, but notice how it never goes the other way around. These women don't think they need to bring anything to the table besides existing. With that statement, she's essentially saying men shouldn't exercise their human right to love or happiness because they don't have money. Basically, she's saying that a man is worthless and unworthy unless his bank account is full, tying love strictly to his wallet. And just like this lady says, if a man were to say, "You shouldn't date unless you're pretty enough," well, you know the rest. The internet would explode. But somehow when women do it, it's normalized. This mindset reduces relationships to transactions, erasing everything that actually makes a person valuable.
It's literally always the guys that pursue you first that will then proceed to be like, well, I'm just actually not in a good place for a relationship.
I'll speak for all the guys here. Usually it's because we were like, damn, she's pretty hot. And then we started talking to you and we found out that you suck. So that little line is just usually an easy way out. So your fault.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you can't afford a woman's lifestyle, then date within your budget.
And I don't know who needs to hear this. 72% of women in America live paycheck to paycheck. So basically they're broke.
Stop shaming women for wanting what you can't provide.
I don't want to shame women. I honestly want to help women. Better to have a broke man who loves you than a rich man who leaves you.
If I don't have cash in hand, I'm not showing up. So all the men who say, women are using me for free food, I don't want free food anymore. I need cash in hand to show up on a date. I'm not going on any free dates. To be honest, why? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? If I'm going to go on a date for free, I'd rather go out with my girlfriends. I don't want to go out with a man for free. Why? I don't understand what is the point of going out with a man for free. Okay. I don't understand why. Like all these men are saying, you just want free food. I don't even want free food. Okay. I need the free food and I need cash in hand. Okay. I'm not just going to hang out with you just to hang out with you. Okay. Men just want schmecks. If that's the case now, cash in hand, period. Cash App Zelle before I show up. I'm not doing it. I don't like you. Cash App Zelle. My pronouns are Apple Pay, Zelle, Cash App, period.
You need help. Well, honestly, you might as well not go on a date at all. Expecting a man to pay you to go on a date with him is not only crazy, it's disrespectful. This is where most modern women are at with dating today. They want their time to be paid for, some even suggesting a man cover their rent before going on a date. They don't realize it, but little by little, they're destroying what's left of the dating world. By treating relationships like transactions instead of connections, they push men further and further away from wanting anything to do with them. And as always, these will be the same women wondering what happened to men. Why aren't men making a move? Why aren't they pursuing women? They'll ask. When a man hears something like this, he's not thinking about chasing or impressing her. He's thinking, why should I bother? Why should I put in effort when my time, energy, and money are treated like obligations instead of contributions?
This sounds bad every time I say it, but I just want to be more stupid. And I'm not saying that I'm not stupid at all. I'm just not stupid in the right ways. Like, I want to be so dumb that I don't try to understand anything ever. I don't try to figure people out. I'm not thinking about, like, wait, what's the purpose of life? I'm not wondering what's going to happen in 5 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. I'm just like, what am I going to have for dinner? And then I'm like, I guess I'll have some pasta. And then I just go and have the pasta, and that's the only thing I worry about. That's the level I want to be at.
If you can't afford to take me on a date, if you can't afford to court me, you probably should not be dating.
What's the future?
Yeah, what's the future for us? It is not to say you're not an amazing person. Dating costs, let's be honest. Going on a date, it costs money. Dating, having a girlfriend.
Leaving your house costs money.
Yes, leaving your house, $35.99.
Staying in your house costs money.
Yes, okay? So it's just like, honestly, if you do not have the means, baby, you should not be dating.
Only date older men if they're either wealthy, fun, or knowledgeable. Looks fade, but wealth generally stays. Fun, light-hearted personality generally stays to the grave, and so does knowledge, unless they have dementia. I used to always date older men. Some were 20 years plus. I never saw age as a problem or a thing to consider because I really enjoyed their financial status and their emotional maturity. They knew what I wanted and they knew already how to treat me. Some young men these days don't necessarily know what high-value women want. So you can waste a lot of time with them, and if they're not trainable, well, next.
I've said this before, but a lot of times these women date older men because of their finances, and I find it quite funny how this woman refers to herself as a high-value woman, but in reality she's leeching off a man to fund her lifestyle. A lot of these women choose this route because they're lazy and don't want to provide for themselves. Some are just searching for an experience or the lifestyle at the expense of a man's hard work. What's crazy is how they try to dress it up as empowerment or smart dating, but at the core, it's entitlement. They expect security, luxury, and attention without offering real value in return. No loyalty, no support, no effort beyond showing up. And the more this mindset spreads, the more men wake up to it, realizing that investing in these women isn't worth it. Eventually, the high value label becomes meaningless because real value isn't about what you take, it's about what you bring to the table.
I've seen a lot of videos and see women talking about how the man should pay for everything, should be giving you money. If he's not paying and he's not giving you money, why are you dating him? Why are you with him? But let's be honest, I would 1000% rather be with a man that I am head over heels in love with, that does just okay financially, as long as he is hardworking, driven, ambitious, working towards his goals, versus be with a man that I like, that does really well and would pay for absolutely everything. I think a lot of women would opt for the latter scenario just to guarantee them security and comfort, which I can understand to an extent, but I've been in that scenario a couple times where I really liked the guy, great guy, paid for everything. I would never have to worry about money the rest of my life, but I knew I was not in love like that, and I could not in good faith move forward with that relationship. I could be engaged right now to one of those guys, but I chose differently. So yeah, real love over money any day.
If a woman is looking for you to be a provider, I believe that is a relationship that you shouldn't even consider. The benefits for the person who is being provided for, they are awesome. They have no bills. They have nothing to worry about. No mortgage, no house, no cars, no food, no nothing. But what exactly does the person who's doing the providing get out of it? I asked a woman one time on one of these websites, I'm like, okay, I understand what you get out of it. Everything you get out of it is tangible. It makes sense. But what exactly does the man get out of it? And she started breaking it down, and it sounded like a whole bunch of nothing. Like she was saying, yeah, I wash his clothes. I was like, okay, so you put some clothes in a washing machine. The machine does the work, and then you take them out, you put them in the dryer. And she was like, yeah, I cook. I was like, okay. So you go in the kitchen and you cook some food. And she was like, yeah, I clean. I was like, okay, what you just described to me sounds like about 2.5 hours of work. So you want me to believe that the average guy is out here working 40 to 60 hours a week to pay the bills in the house, and the equivalent that he's going to receive is cooking and cleaning, and that's the worst deal I ever heard of. That shit don't even make sense. Like I've said before, men sign up for some horrible deals. Now, of course, down the line, the woman inserted her body into it, as if that's not a mutual exchange, which is just crazy. Doesn't make any kind of sense. But men have devalued themselves to a point that a woman thinks that her body is worth something and that a man's body ain't worth shit. But y'all did that. Only person that can be blamed for that is y'all. But yeah, the benefits of being a provider don't make sense at all whatsoever.
Being a provider today has no benefits, and even if you do everything right, you can still get left. It's like having a 360 deal as a rapper. You put in all the work, you invest your time, your energy, your money, and at the end of the day, someone else reaps the rewards while you're left with little to show. You provide, you support, you show loyalty, and yet all of that can be discarded like it never mattered. Men today are realizing that being a provider comes with no guarantees. You can do everything perfectly. Pay the bills, plan the dates, show affection. And it might not be enough because some women prioritize what they can extract over what's shared. That's the reality of dating in a world where entitlement is normalized and gratitude is rare. And the worst part? When men step back, these women act surprised, wondering why men aren't chasing them anymore, forgetting that they've been building the wall that keeps men from even trying.
Men need to date within their budget. I thought I'd heard it all. I thought I'd heard it all from crazy women on TikTok. But no. I just watched a video this morning where this girl was like, she was sitting in her expensive car with her expensive makeup and lip gloss, you know, the type, all pouting. And she was like, ladies, women, if he can't afford your lifestyle, you need to tell that man that he needs to date within his budget. And there's all these likes, there's always thousands and thousands of likes. So yeah, men, apparently what she's saying is, if you can't afford to pay for everything that she wants, then you're not worthy of her. That men, you need to date within your budget. How crazy is this? How about, lady, you want expensive makeup, you want expensive hair, you want expensive holidays, get a better job and pay for it yourself. What if you could be missing out on a really, really nice guy who's just fallen on hard times and hasn't got any money, and then in like 6 months' time, he's an entrepreneur, he's setting up his own company and he's a billionaire, and you've missed out on that because you need to you want men that can pay forward to you in the minute and they need to date within their budget. Like, I literally, my mouth dropped when I saw this. And of course, all the young girls were agreeing with them, which really scares me. And I'm so happy that I've got a son and not a daughter, because the world that girls are growing up in now is just so toxic. Although I am also scared for my son with toxic women. But yeah, date within your budget. And women are like, I mean, how rude is that? How condescending, how making everything about money. I feel like I'm ranting, but I was just so angry by this post. And I get that it's probably like clickbait, rage bait and everything. I get that she's trying to get a reaction. But still, I feel like that's 100% how she feels. And the comments made me sad as well. But yeah, let me think, what do you think about this? That women are saying that men should date within their budget. What do you think about that? I bet I'm going to get a lot of comments from men saying, well, you know, they can do one. We're happy off being single.
This date within your budget trend started with these so-called high-value women shaming men because they couldn't afford their delusional standards of a lavish first date. They acted like anything less than champagne, fancy dinners, and over-the-top gestures was beneath them. And somehow, that became the rule for modern dating. It's been going around a lot lately, and the impact is clear. Men are being told that love, attention, and effort are only valuable if they come with a price tag. The problem is, it's not just a harmless trend, it's conditioning men to step back. When women demand extravagance before a single meaningful connection, they're creating a culture where men feel like no matter what they do, it will never be enough. And the irony? These same women later complain that men aren't romantic. What it really is entitlement disguised as self-respect.